Good morning, everyone. What a beautiful day outside. And we have all fans on today. Pleasant morning in the Unitarian Sanctuary. Here it may hit 80 degrees in Shiretown today. So this is the last Sunday of August, so we're going to enjoy it to the most.
So we're going to have service outside?
The coffee hour is mobile today. We encourage people to meander on the front lawn, the back parking lot. Yeah, it's just one of the beautiful days in northern Maine. Morning, Christoph. I've got the camera running, so we'll do it later. It's good to see everyone here. Today's theme is this odd title called T-Mon, and I am going to explain it as we go along in today's service. And I'll explain some of the items on today's altar. For our prelude, we're going to do passing around mint this morning. During the prelude, the title of this is called Field of Mint by a group called Lotus, which is an electronic instrumental jam band, sometimes known as Jamtronica. New guys not familiar with. So, how this works is I have a teacup full of mint leaves. Okay. And I'm going to pass the cup around. So you can take a couple, they're small. So take a couple of the leaves out of the teacup and just pass it to the person next to you. Most of us today are sitting on my left-hand side. Then you'll pass over the aisle over to the right side of the church. And you'll circulate this way back to the altar, and you'll place it back on the plate. So, take our time, and what I encourage you to do is once you have your mint leaves, or take a couple, is to just pinch it between your fingernails. And as the music is playing, this is a meditation that lends itself to T-Mon. And that would be our prelude for this morning. Let's start. got lemon? How many got mint? How many took one of each? Well, I enjoyed watching you slowly notice the aroma between fingers. Well, I was weed whacking earlier this summer. We have a Buddha statue by the cabin, and he was getting a little overgrown, so I was weed whacking, and all of a sudden, I noticed the aroma of lemon, which is highly unusual when I'm weed whacking our place in the backwoods. And that's when I realized I had stumbled upon one of Linda's overgrown herb gardens that she had planted next to me. So these I was able to pick at a more civilized location. Linda had some in front of the flower garden in front of the farmhouse. So I was able to pick this morning. But the surprise of weed whacking is just a delight. It shifted my menial task and the sweat and the work, a delightful tea break, lemon balm. So for our moment of centering silence this morning, let us find our breath, find our center, and the lingering aroma of some lemon or mint. And let us relax into this time and space on this final Sunday of August, and listen to the sound of singing bowl. We're going to light our chalice, and I would invite Jody, would you please assist us today in lighting our tea-mind chalice in the morning. And on the altar, you'll notice this is more of a lemon balm picked this morning. So after the service, please come down and take a few sprigs with you. This is the first time you've done this, Joe? Okay. Basic orientation. This is great. So transfer. Symbol of light and knowledge, we light this chalice as a symbol of our faith. Here we gather to celebrate hope and the infinite possibilities of love. Our hymn this morning is number 38, and Dale is making her way to the organ. Morning has broken. And let us stand as you are able. Number 38. One of the items on the altar is a tin of tea from Republic of Tea Company. And what I love about, besides being great tea, they come with great quotations on the side of the can. So for opening words this morning, this is a minister's column I wrote years ago, inspired by this can of tea in one of his quotes. And in the column, there's an opening quotation that I used by Mary Oliver from Why I Wake Early. Mary Oliver says, "There are things you can't reach, but you can reach out to them all day long. The wind, the bird flying away, the idea of God. I look morning to night. I am never done with looking." So earlier this week, I was drinking a cup of tea and happened to be reading the label on the side of the tea can. Isn't it funny how your eyes automatically wander to anything with words on it? I have memorized more cereal boxes in my lifetime than I care to admit. In case you haven't noticed, tea boxes and tea tins have become quite philosophical lately. This particular can said, "Life is impossible, and so what? It is in its very impossibility that we find our joy. The life of tea is the life of the moment. We only have now, and we each sip it in our own cups." Life is so full and alive this time of year. This was written in early July. It's impossible to take it all in. The flowers are blooming, insects are active, and the grass is growing faster than we can mow it. To lead a spiritual life is to be continually open to everything going on in nature, in politics, and in our own selves. That is why it may seem like an impossible task. Yet, no effort is ever wasted in this kind of reflection. Mary Oliver says that in spite of the odds against us, we need to keep reaching and keep looking. The immensity of the divine is all around us. It is moving beneath our feet, flying in the sky, and waiting to be read about on the lake as we sit quietly enjoying our cup of tea. Our group reading this morning is number 500. We're going to read this in unison. It's a reading by poet Denise Levertov. Marvelous truth confront us at every turn, in every guise. Iron wall, egg, dark horse, shadow, cloud, breath on the air. Dwell in our crowded hearts, our steaming bathrooms, kitchens full of things to be done, the ordinary streets. For us close to the smile that we know. So that would be Denise Levertov's approach to a few select things in the course of her day that we could approach with what we're calling today tea wine.
Don't get it. And you can't tell grandma cause her heart can't take it and she might not make it. They say don't dare, don't you even go there. Cutting off your long hair, you do as you're told. Till you wake up, go put on your makeup. This is just a phase you're gonna outgrow. There's something wrong in the village, follow you from Monday all the way to Friday dinner. You got one day of shelter, then it's someday hell to pay, you young lost sinner. Well, I've been there sitting in that same chair, whispering that same prayer half a million times. It's a lie though, burying disciples. One page of the Bible isn't worth a life. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, with the village. Something wrong with the village. There's something wrong in the village, in the village. Oh, they stare in the village, in the village. Oh, there's nothing wrong with you. It's true, it's true. There's something wrong with the village, with the village. Something wrong with the village.
Thank you for sharing. When she wrote that, she said she felt like she was channeling a voice larger than herself. And several of our members wrote this, which I encourage her to share that this morning. Thank you. We're going to take the offering with your assistance. You're waving at me, Matt.
I'll just get TJ my love.
Okay, I thought you were waving. But yeah, Matt, if you would assist us with the offering today, we will circulate the plate. The Pishka is on the back table, a collection for local needs in our community and our own congregation. And also the organ fund faux jar is there. And the building fund jar is also there. This morning's music selection is by the Delvon Lamar Organ Trio. They're based out of Seattle, Washington, titled Can I Change My Mind? And they're reminiscent of a Booker T and MG tradition. So listen to a little bit of that feel. Let us give it hearts of gladness. I know this may seem like an odd topic for me to address. Me, being an avid coffee drinker, with a hard-earned and long-standing reputation as a high-volume, highly caffeinated coffee consumer. One of my email addresses, you may have noticed, is coffeebum61@gmail.com. And besides my day job as minister at the Unitarian Society, I'm also a part-time barista at our own cup cafe in the basement. For me, it's the perfect employment package. You may have noticed that I usually have a cup of coffee with me most of the time. In the Yeti product placement, I'm promoting most of the time lately. Or if it's not in hand, it's close by, ready for our refill. For me, coffee is more than a beverage, it's a lifestyle. So when I met Linda, it was an adjustment. She was a lifelong tea drinker and comes from a long line of tea drinkers from Nova Scotia and Cape Breton. I have never seen Linda drink a cup of coffee, and that is 24 years running now. When I was single, leading my coffee bum existence, I had a sizable section of my cupboard devoted to coffee bean storage, coffee gear, brewing equipment, and filters. I believe I had one box of tea in the cupboard, which I brought today. It's not the original, I've reordered since. The Twinings. I think I was attracted to the tin can, once again. Earl Grey, classic. It did have caffeine. One of the first things Linda and I did was create a tea space in the cupboard. Now that we were a coffee and tea household. Approximately a 50-50 space split. As a yoga teacher, Linda introduced me to a new world of teas, chai, and rooibos. One of her favorite brands was Yogi tea, and like Republica tea, or even Salada tea. When I was a kid, back in the 60s, it would have a small quotation on the tea tag, or the label on the tea bag. So, Yogi tea also has a quote, this time on the tea packet itself. One of them said, "To be calm is the highest achievement of the self." At first, I was not overly impressed. To be calm doesn't strike me as one of the best indicators of enlightenment. Yet, when you start to think about it, this quality of mind and its implications do point to a lofty achievement of the individual. What would it like to be calm no matter what is happening? What would it like to be calm when someone insulted you, or intentionally or unintentionally misunderstood you? What would it like not to be driven by the ego and all its variants of self-interest? The more I thought about it, to be calm is the highest achievement of the self. The more I began to appreciate the short quote on the packet of Yogi tea. So now I carry it around with me as a reminder and for talks such as this. And I forgot to bring it up this morning. It's in a little can sitting on my desk in my office. So this leads me to the topic of today, tea mind. In a stressful and jittery world, a calm state of mind is sometimes difficult to maintain. Tea mind is an attempt to bring balance and increase awareness to our living. So I'd like to read the quote on this particular can of tea. This is a can of chai. A person is rich in proportion to the things they can afford to leave alone, wrote a tea drinker named Thoreau, who discovered what we've known here at Republic of Tea for some time. Tea is wealth itself, because there is nothing that cannot be lost, no problem that will not disappear, no burden that will not float away between the first sip and the last sip of your tea. So I'm going to pass this around and open the can and take one of the little circular tea bags for yourself to sit with during the service. And again, to breathe in the spicy chai aroma as we continue our talk. Only take one. Linda wanted, she was a little concerned when I took this out of the kitchen, out of her tea cupboard this morning. This is a book that came out, it's Thich Nhat Hanh's first book titled The Miracle of Mindfulness, which is interestingly enough published by our own Beacon Press out of Boston years ago. Gave him his big publishing break. And it's a beautiful hard copy little issue. And there's a quotation in this that elicits the idea of tea mind and a practice. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if the axis on which, well, I'm going to say that again. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the whole earth revolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing toward the future. In this week's support page, is a copy of How to Drink a Mindful Cup of Tea. It's a 5-point process. That's what you call a tea break practice. It can also be done with coffee, I might add. The tea tradition goes back in Zen and the Japanese traditions of tea mind. There's one, when I went to Zen Mountain Monastery in Mount Tremper, New York, what was interesting, and several members of our group went there as well, is the coffee culture is just as strong as tea culture at Zen Mountain Monastery. It was a natural fit for myself. Establishing a daily practice is at a monastery. Early in the morning, we would start off with tea or coffee as part of this mindful awareness practice. Meditation in general can sometimes be a difficult practice to establish on a regular, daily, consistent basis, no matter what variety it might be. So what I found is, find a practice that you are excited about doing. In my case, you can involve tea or coffee into the practice itself to develop mindful awareness, alert, appreciation of your environment, surrounding, noticing your own characteristics, thought patterns, emotions that arise. So I find that tea mind can be one of these practices with whatever beverage that you choose. So this morning, I have 12 quotes from Republic of Tea that elicit or take a certain angle of tea mind, something that comes up out of that space in time where you're seated, outdoors, indoors, at a cafe, downtown or on the street, where you can pause, set aside that space and time where you're doing nothing but that mindful practice. In this case, a tea break, developing tea mind. So I'm going to read each of these 12 quotes, and I'm trying to do my best to refrain from commentary. And between each reading, I'm just going to strike one of our bells and gongs down here. Hoping this itself will be a type of meditation as you're sitting with your child, tea, listening to these bits, pieces, flashes of what I dare call enlightenment, insight. It's a peaceful practice, open to whatever might come up or what might be triggered. But overall, the tea or the coffee keeps bringing me back to that center space of just drinking, sipping tea. And see what happens in that space. Quote number 1. Drifting clouds, flowing water, seeking the same calm, I discover happiness, tasting a true sip of tea. That was on a canister of orange pico. Quote number 2. Tea is contentment, and contentment is love of content, whatever that might be. Drinking tea, desires diminish, and I come to see the ancient secret of happiness, wanting what I already have, inhabiting the life that is already mine. That was cardamom cinnamon. Quote number 3. I am a partner with change, moving every moment to make union with all things. Nothing happens to me. Things happen. Yerba mate Zen. Quote number 4. Quietly, I find what I already know with the dancing of leaves in a cup of green tea. Chamomile tea. Number 5. In the meantime, live a life of tea, making a place of quietness in the mind, doing no harm in thought, deed, or your word. So years ago, before I had a smartphone, I would walk into a health food store and sit down in the tea aisle with my notebook and go through each one of the cans and hand copy quotations into my notebook. Here are just a few. Number 6. In each leaf is its potential, its own unique flavor, only to be realized when it meets the rolling water. The leaf, the water, what would one be without the other? As with tea, so with life. Only in union with ourselves and others do we join our fullest and truest self-sense. That was called the tea inquiry. Number 7. I say you can trace the whole mess on this planet to the fact that we lose ourselves in ideas for living, while life waits for us to inhabit it. Tea is not an idea, but the end of all ideas. With a single sip, the cloud or busy mind is made to pass, and the light of life breaks through to show us what we have kept concealed from ourselves all the way along. Blackberry Sage. Number 8. Explore the varying paths of the world, gathering wisdom from every natural thing, seen, unseen. With each sip of tea, I wash away the dust from my senses. Essence becomes complete and clear. It becomes complete and clear in my cup, and I discover the flawless pearl of tea wine. Republic Red Chai. Tea opens the place beyond words. With the first sip, I am only a visitor, but by the time I have drained the last drop from the cup, it is now my home. The tea inhabits me, and I the tea. There is no longer a distinction between us. What is named me and what is named tea are simply passing clouds. Together as one, we are the ineffable buoyancy of being. Republic Green Chai. Number 10. With herbs, there is nothing to resist. With nothing to resist them, harmony and balance do not hide. Entering harmony and balance, I wash my teeth. That was lemon winter green. Number 11. The leaves take the water and the tea takes leave. I put up no resistance, surrendering myself to what has entered. Soon I am the tea, and the tea is me. that was chamomile lemon. And it says under the title, Surrender to Sleep Herb Tea, chamomile lemon. And in closing, quote number 12. This quote comes from the minister of tea culture himself. Meanwhile, suggests Kazuzo Okakura, a former minister of culture, let us have a sip of tea. The afternoon glow is brightening the bamboos, the fountains are bubbling with light, the soughing of the pines is heard in the kettle. Let us dream of evanescence and linger in the beautiful foolishness of things. That was orange ginger mint. The life of tea is the life of a moment. We only have now, and we each sip it in our own cups. Before we extinguish the chalice, I did bring in a couple of teapots from the Cup Cafe downstairs. You may recognize a few of these. And this is a teapot purchased years ago for some tea ceremonies we've done here at the church off and on. It used to sit on my minister's desk for a couple of years on the tea table. Again, a small, very plain, humble teapot. Only enough tea for one cup. So again, I encourage you after the service to take some more tea, lemon balm with you. We have tea here at the coffee hour. And coffee today. As we extinguish the chalice, we continue with our day, knowing that it has been good to be together, even if but for a short time. Let us walk in love. May peace and kindness accompany us all on this day.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you'd like to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and help us out by sharing this message by clicking the share button. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to you, Church Holton, there is a link to our online donations in the video description down below. And again, thank you so much and have a blessed day.